Now looking at the aerobic energy system. With training, there will be more anaerobic enzymes. With more anaerobic enzymes, this means that it can break lactate down faster, meaning that it takes a greater amount of lactate until OBLA is reached. And as lactate requires oxygen to be broken down into eventually acetyl coenzyme A, which then can enter the Krebs cycle and carry on with the aerobic system. This links to both blood lactate buffering and delaying OBLA, as the body is then more efficient in working with lactate and breaking it down to prevent it from building up. This also means that the body is more glycogen sparing, meaning that the RER values will decrease, so the body uses higher percentages of fats rather than carbohydrates, meaning that less lactate is being produced, so it's easier to break down. Looking at figure 6 here, before a training plan, an unfit athlete could use something like 0.9 of an RER value, for example, with a 67.5% of that being carbohydrates or stored glycogen. And this would then lead to a high increase of lactate and would quickly build up to a point which will reach OBLA quicker compared to a fitter athlete with, let's say, a 0.75 RER, which would use only a 15.6% of carbohydrates and 84.4% of fats. And the carbohydrates here, the stored glycogen, produces the lactate, whereas the fat does not produce lactate. I mean, a lower RER value using lower percentage of carbohydrates means that it would take longer for the performer to reach OBLA and begin to fatigue. This is useful for a triathlete, as if they have a lower RER using more fats compared to stored glycogen, that means their blood lactate levels can be maintained, as the body can break down low percentages or low volumes of blood lactate the fitter you are. But then once that begins to rise, as either fat stores deplenish or the intensity gets too high where the RER value begins to rise, then the blood lactate level will get to a point where the body can no longer maintain blood lactate levels, so that will increase, causing OBLA and eventually causing fatigue. And that means if a performer like a triathlete can delay that, that means their performance would be improved, as they can work at a higher intensity for longer, meaning they would get an overall quicker time. And now looking at figure 5, this shows blood lactate levels during a 20-minute steady state exercise before and after an 8-week training plan for the triathlete, with the blue bars of the bar chart being before the 8-week training plan and the orange bars being after the 8-week training plan. And you can see here resting blood lactate levels have slightly decreased from approximately 1.5 millimoles to approximately 1.4 millimoles, so it's a very slight decrease. But then you can see after 10 minutes of this steady state exercise, the body has gone from 4.7 millimoles from before the test to approximately 3.8 millimoles, and this can be caused by it takes a few minutes for the aerobic system to take place, as it's such a long and complex process, meaning that they would have to rely anaerobically to start with. But you can see that from here to here, especially from 10 minutes to the 20 minutes, the body is much more efficient in coping with that blood lactate levels compared to before the training plan, as it goes from this 3.8 millimoles and decreases down to this 2 millimoles compared to the approximately 2.3 millimoles here. So it's a slight decrease in blood lactate, but due to that slight decrease can make a great difference in a triathlete's performance over time, as obviously the lower the blood lactate levels are, the better they can work aerobically, and for longer and efficiently they can work aerobically.